In this video, I want to show you how bedroom brands are scaling past 100k days with AI before and afters. And this video is inspired by this post that I made where I talked about how if you have a product that allows for before and after, you're able to test angles such as bloating, water weight, constipation, hunger reduction, inflammation, fatigue across a bunch of different avatars, such as people with menopause, on birth control, IBS, PCOS, postpartum, and so on and so on and so on, and how this will be one of the biggest gray areas in paid social within the next 12 months because brands are already scaling this. I made this with Hicksfield in like an hour or so, 30 minutes maybe, and this was just to prove a point. This got some backlash, and I don't think people liked it because people started saying things like straight fraud, nice. People started saying no one is going to believe humans unlinked in a post. UGC is a joke nowadays without it. And somebody also said, let's just lie to our customers and prospects. But I still know a lot of brands are scaling with AI ads. And that's why I'm making this video for educational purposes to show you how are brands actually using AI and before and afters to scale on paid social, even though it's a gray area. In that way, you kind of know what's out there and what to do and not to do and whatnot. Disclaimer is that please follow the guidelines of advertising and whatnot. Don't get sued by the FTC. I think that's very stupid. I don't recommend, so to speak, any of this, but I'm showing this for educational purposes. With that being said, I want to jump into a few examples of actual AI ads and how brands are actually using the AI before and afters. The first example that I wanted to take you through is actually an example for Try Spartan. And if you've been in like direct response or just like in DTC for a while, you've seen the rise of Spartan probably mostly last year. They ran a bunch of traffic and were one of the, I'd say in like hair care and whatnot, one of the like bigger brands to funnel hack. They ran a bunch of traffic, and I just pulled up two different ads of theirs. You can see here from Try Spartan. And if I can just pull up the sequence where it is, it's basically just a normal direct response test. It's rather short on the 1 minute side, but you can see how like just in general, they're using a lot of like AI animations and whatnot. But I think specifically here for this guy here, and I can claim that this is a AI before and after, but I will show you how easy it is to layer one in. Like here, right here, like you can see how this guy's hair, like tell me this guy looks real. He doesn't to me. You could argue this is a real guy. What I think they did in this case, and I might be completely wrong, and then that's my bad, but I also know that this is possible, is that, and the way that they did this was that they took this UGC creator and then they just uploaded into like any model for creating AI images, and they just told the AI model to make this guy again, but without hair or with thinning hair, pretty much. And you can do that. And then you can talk about how that might be due to like one angle or the second angle or the third angle or the fourth angle or the fifth angle. You can make this guy, like in this case, they have a creator, but if the guy was like an AI creator, you could also do that and test like 10 different angles. Again, another example comes here. I don't know how they did this specifically. I think this looks like a real before and after to me. So this might just be real, or they edited his hair, I don't know. But again, this is also a sequence where you could, in theory, do AI before and afters with results, and you can antagonize minoxidil, you can antagonize finasteride, you can talk about how like there's inflammation in your scalp, like you can like frame this 100 different ways with AI before and afters. You can also sell different products in theory. You could sell a hair loss supplement, you can also sell the LED hair like cap, like there's so many different ways to spin this. Another example is this one that I found, and this is also under Try Spartan. If you do even just a little bit of funnel hacking, you'll be able to find this. But I just went onto one of their other ghost pages, and then I went on here, and you can see they're running a quiz funnel for the brand called Athena. So it's basically just hair loss again, but they've just flipped it from being only men to also female. But if you go on here, I think there's a same sequence, or actually, this is more like an obvious way of using AI before and afters. So you can see this girl is AI. This is definitely AI, and I don't think that's a secret. So here's the other part, and to me, obviously, this is AI, and you can see that this is clearly AI, but it's not to say that it doesn't work. This can work to prove a point. So the other guy who commented on my post, for example, who said that UGC doesn't work if it's AI, that's absolutely not true. Matter of fact, we've had like a bunch of ads with AI where it's just like, it's obviously AI, but it still works because it's just there as a function of the ad. It has nothing to do with it being UGC or not. For this case as well, like it might also be that some people just believe it. I don't think that's the case though. I don't know about the US. You hear all of these things about how US are just more prone to believe in like obviously bad AI, especially the older people. I don't know if that's the case. That might be true. But either way, that's another use case of like AI before and afters. There's also a few other brands, and I wanted to shift this because you don't only have to do this specifically for hair care or weight loss or anything else like that. You can also do it in completely other verticals. So another example that I found was from Paw Print Lab, and they're scaling slowly. They're probably not doing 100k days. They might, not sure. But regardless, I found this one, which I thought was pretty cool. In here specifically, you can see like a fat dog, which is like, that could be just like a fat dog, but it could also just be AI generated. I do think people have a harder time telling apart from like animals and whatnot, as opposed to humans, because we are humans and it's like more easy for us to see AI humans. But this could very much be just a animated dog. Yeah, so for example here, like this is just, like this could simulate quote unquote the same dog. I don't think people like, I mean, you could argue that people would think that this is the same dog. I don't think that's the case again. Again, some people who is really old and in the US or just like in general might believe that that's the case. Like this is the same dog, but this is also just another way to use before and afters with AI, where the top one is definitely AI. Again, here another dog, up here just super tired, and down here just like more athletic dog, I guess, and just like looks healthier, more energetic. So yeah, that's another example of just like AI before and afters in another vertical. And another one would be this one right here. This is for this skincare brand, and they're running bunch of ads. It's like, I think it's some guy in the Netherlands. They have about 150k monthly visitors. It could be more, it could also be less. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just looking at what TrendTrack says like their monthly visitors is. And it seems to be like a brand scaling from the Netherlands. Like there's a bunch of people from the Netherlands just absolutely chat scalers, and this person seems to be one of them. And the reason that I say that is because I can see they have all of these ghost pages, or like dark pages, whatever you want to call them, and they were like 130 ads, 700 ads, 230, 138, 24, 2, and they're running mostly like native statics, I think, but they also have a few video ads, and I wanted to pull one of those up right here. So this is specifically for, I think it's like dark spots or like the dark skin and then like that transformation. Yeah, dark spots. So just clear like week 1 and then week 4 gone, and it's the other side. And again, this could be a real image. It could also very much be AI generated. This would be so easy to AI generate, and like it's just week 1, week 4, and again, you don't have to show their face. It's just like week 1 is the same with the picture that I showed you before on my post, and people blur their faces, and that makes so much sense because then you can't really see it's AI generated to the same degree. So going back, that's just the example there for the feline skincare, and I think I might do one more or two. I saw this one from a peptide company, but it's for hair growth. Let me just see here. Yeah, again here before and after, before, after, and again you could do this with, I'm not sure if this is AI. It might not look like AI, to be fair, but you can do this super easy with AI, especially if you don't show people's faces. And I think that's what will be a super gray area in paid social specifically. Again here, before, after, because you don't have to show people's faces, and the models for creating images are just getting better and better and better. And now you can, again, as I said in the beginning, sequentially test so many different angles, so many different pain points across so many different avatars. And if you have your landers, your pre-landers aligned with those different angles or avatars, like that's where you can really get to chat scale really fast. Let me see if there's another example in here. Oh, I think that's it. And a lot of you guys are already doing this on your landing pages. I know for a fact because I've seen a lot of landing pages made with AI before images, but not a lot of people are using it in the ads specifically. This is the last one, and again, I can't 100% tell if this is AI or not, but I'm just throwing this in there because you could, in theory, or brands could, in theory, do this with AI if they wanted to. Again, like super obvious that this is very doable with the current state of AI, and it's only getting better. So again, and you can also see how they try it, like is the eczema, but if you had another AI image here with like something else. It could be dark spots, as we talked about just before, or as we saw just before. Like that could be another angle, that could be another avatar that you're now going after, and so on and so on and so on. So I think like the brands, like I'm not sure from a legal perspective how this will play out. These were just a few examples of how I see brands scaling with AI ads, actually using before and afters. It's a like crazy gray area right now, but a lot of brands are using it. That's why I wanted to make this video, to show you how brands are actually doing it. And if you found it even just a bit insightful, what I'd love for you to do is just share it with one friend who's also scaling e-com, scaling D2C, for them to also gain access to this information and for them to see as well. There's also a bunch of links that you can check in the description to work with us or join our newsletter. And that being said, have an amazing day and thank you for watching.